Hi, my name is Caitlin Griffin, and the following 5 videos serve as a reflection and demonstration of the knowledge and abilities learned throughout the Boise State Educational Technology Master's Program. Several artifacts created throughout this program will be highlighted and described, noting how they align with the Association for Educational and Communication Technology, AECT standards. The artifacts highlighted for Standard 1 demonstrate my knowledge and abilities to create, use, assess, and manage theoretical and practical applications of educational technologies and processes. An artifact that demonstrates this standard is from EdTech 541, Integrating Technology into Classroom Curriculum. In this class, I created an assignment for my students titled Mario Math. This is an assignment that reviews critical elements of a 5th grade fraction standard, adding, subtracting, modeling, and solving complex word problems. Throughout the activity, instructional/how-to videos are integrated and can be viewed on an as-needed basis. Part of creating online learning environments is teaching students to be self-sufficient learners. When I utilized this activity in my classroom, the content had been formally taught in practice. In this review activity, they have the autonomy to watch the video for additional help or solve using what they have already learned. By creating instructional materials and learning environments like this, the needs of my students were met in a fun, relatable, and engaging way, ultimately benefiting them. In EdTech 502, Internet for Educators, we had the opportunity to create a variety of different websites from scratch, putting the newly acquired languages of HTML and CSS into use. In this class, I created a virtual field trip for them to go on, traveling through 5 key battles of the American Revolution. This required research, assessment of the resources found, and organizational skills to ensure that the learning could take place effectively. The technological resources that I utilized in the creation of this website were selected so that my students could be successful independently and be in control of their own learning. I also wanted to make sure that my students were able to take information from multiple sites, create their own understanding of the material, and share it with others, key elements of connectivism. In EdTech 505, Evaluation for Educational Technologists, I was given the opportunity to show my ability to manage people, processes, and resources to meet the goals that I identified by completing a program evaluation. This evaluation was completed to see if the Chromebook implementation program should be financially supported in future years. The evaluation report that was written addressed this concern, as well as other evaluation goals that were predetermined. This assignment helped me to understand how to communicate goals, processes, and evaluation outcomes with a variety of different stakeholders throughout my district and show effective technology implementation. Throughout this program, I have had several opportunities to demonstrate my knowledge and skills surrounding AECT Standard 1. With these abilities, I am able to create learning experiences for my students as well as support teachers in creating their own. I am also able to manage theoretical and practical applications of educational technologies and processes to support further development and technology implementation. The artifacts highlighted for Standard 2 demonstrate how I have practiced reflection to aid in effective implementation of educational technologies and processes based on contemporary content and pedagogy. I created several artifacts that demonstrate this standard in EdTech 506, Graphic Design for Learning. I created a unit of instruction for the novel Hatchet. Each of the graphics created were centered around reflective practice, getting feedback from teachers, classmates, and students about each design, its content, and how it would be implemented. In order to create these designs and learning materials, it was critical that the appropriate technologies were effectively utilized. When making these designs, content and pedagogy also had to be taken into consideration to make the best possible designs for my students and other teachers to use and learn from. In EdTech 542, Project-Based Learning, we had the opportunity to create our own project-based learning activity from scratch. Project Playground demonstrates managing appropriate technological processes and resources to provide supportive learning communities and demonstrates appropriate content pedagogy. Project Playground does this by making learning interdisciplinary and on multiple platforms. It also creates flexible and diverse learning by integrating multiple subjects and letting students choose what they want to incorporate or how they utilize the content skills. Throughout the project, students were working through Google Classroom and Google Apps independently as well as collaboratively and created a Padlet to organize their inspiration. As a result of this project, students created a 3D structure, computer animated design of their perfect playground and then presented their ideas to the school and community. This project was designed and developed with the most important learning principles and research-based best practices in mind. In EdTech 502, the Internet for Educators, we were able to create a mobile learning experience for our students that utilize cell phones in a positive way for learning. Teaching kids that we can learn from our personal devices and that learning can take place wherever they are is important. Activities like this one do just that. Not only did my activity teach kids about our state capitol and teach them this important lesson, it integrated a variety of different technological tools and processes, ultimately engaging my students in the learning and increasing performance outcomes. Throughout this program, I have had several opportunities to demonstrate my knowledge and skills surrounding AECT Standard 2. Because of this program, I feel as if I have become a better reflective creator and have been able to aid other teachers in reflective practices when integrating technology and creating learning experiences for their students. Ensuring that the appropriate content and pedagogy are taken into consideration when implementing educational technologies is an important skill that I have learned and used as a result of this program. The artifacts highlighted for Standard 3 demonstrate how I am able to facilitate learning by creating, using, evaluating, and managing effective learning environments. In EdTech 502, I created a web quest that demonstrates this standard. In the web quest, students are asked to be astronauts traveling to space. Utilizing these resources provided, their job is to research a planet of their choice with a group and then present their findings to the class. By using the right resources and creating an engaging space travel activity for students, meaningful learning happens. The technological resources that I utilized in the creation of this website were selected so that my students could be successful independently and be in control of their own learning. I also wanted to make sure that my students were able to take information from multiple sites and create their own meaning from it, creating their own understanding of the material and sharing it with others, key elements of connectivism. I would also like to highlight two other websites that I created in EdTech 502. One teaches students about NetEquit. NetEquit refers to an unofficial set of guidelines for communication over the internet through email, chats, and discussion posts. NetEquit is a set of rules that students should follow to exhibit proper behavior when using the internet. It is important that they are safe, kind, respectful, and responsible internet users during school, as well as after school to avoid problems like cyberbullying. The other is a copyright scavenger hunt created for students to explore a variety of different websites that will teach them about the basics of copyright, fair use, and plagiarism. With the knowledge of rules for communicating over the internet and how to accurately and ethically use the information learned from the internet, students will be prepared to take on the responsibility that comes with using technology and Web 2.0 tools. In EdTech 541, integrating technology into classroom curriculum, we had the opportunity to create a resource bank of assistive and adaptive technologies that could be implemented to meet the needs of students with cognitive, physical, and sensory difficulties, as well as at-risk students and talented and gifted students. By engaging in this process, it brought to light the needs of students and how we can meet those needs using Web 2.0 tools. Throughout this program, I've had several opportunities to demonstrate my knowledge and skills surrounding AECT Standard 3. Because of this program, I've created learning activities that meet the needs of my students, as well as provide them with tools to make them successful in their learning. Not only this, but I've had the opportunity to share my knowledge with other teachers and pass on that knowledge, making sure that the needs of all students, no matter what classroom, are being met. In doing these things, effective and supporting learning environments have been created. The artifacts highlighted for Standard 4 demonstrate how I am able to design, develop, implement, and evaluate technology-rich learning environments within a supportive community of practice. Throughout this semester in EdTech 503 Instructional Design, we worked on designing, developing, and evaluating a unit of instruction. I learned that when we develop and design instruction, it's important to collaborate with subject matter experts to ensure that you have analyzed the needs of the learners correctly and evaluate the impact your instruction has on them. In doing so, you are engaging in a rich collaborative practice. This process also helped ensure that the program I designed was effectively meeting the needs presented in the Needs Analysis Survey. I received an outside opinion on a training created to meet the needs of teachers within a building. Changes were made based on her feedback, and throughout this process, the development and design of my instruction for these students was improved, better suiting their needs. In EdTech 501 Introduction to Educational Technology, we had the opportunity to research a technology trend, and I chose to delve into makerspaces. Throughout this process, I learned that implementing technology is not always easy. It doesn't happen overnight. It requires planning, cooperation from staff, materials, and funding. Most importantly, it requires a spearheader. In order to gain this support, I built this website called Making a Makerspace and shared it with my administration and staff. Throughout this process, I gained enough support to begin the process of making a makerspace in our school, continuing to build and foster our technology-rich learning environment. When I think about this program as a whole, one of the things that stands out to me most is the amount of reflection that happens as a result of the artifacts that we create. In just about every class, for about every assignment, some sort of reflection was done. Whether it took place on Moodle, in a discussion forum, on a blog post, over Facebook, or in a more formal reflection, it was always happening. For a majority of the courses, I utilized my EdTech Learning Log, posting assignments, reflections, and thoughts for each. Through these reflections, important concepts were thought out, new discoveries were made, collaboration took place, feedback was provided, and effectiveness was gauged. Throughout this program, I've had several opportunities to demonstrate my knowledge and skills surrounding AECT Standard 4. Because of this program, I've had the opportunity to create learning materials for teachers and students with a strong focus on collaboration to evaluate the impact on learners. I've had the opportunity to be a leader designing and implementing technology-supported learning in several different ways, and most importantly, in my opinion, I've become a reflective practitioner by analyzing and interpreting data, reflecting on the effectiveness of the artifacts that I have created, and by looking deeply at technology-supported instruction and learning. The artifacts highlighted for Standard 5 demonstrate how I am able to explore, evaluate, synthesize, and apply methods of inquiry to enhance learning and improve performance. In EdTech 501, we were asked to complete a school technology evaluation, rating our school on a variety of different topics using the Maturity Benchmark Survey. This assignment came at a very opportune time for me personally because my school was just beginning a technology implementation process, starting with a pilot program with Chromebooks in my classroom. After rating my school on a series of different topics and subtopics, I was able to take that information to our next technology team meeting and provide a baseline for our school and district. The survey, paired with the school evaluation summary, provided excellent information for our team, elements that those at the district office had not yet considered. Being able to apply these methodologies helped identify problem areas for our school, and from those problem areas, we were able to target specific places to focus our efforts to enhance practice and performance throughout the Chromebook implementation. Several times throughout this program, we were asked to conduct research, exploring, evaluating, and synthesizing what we researched. In EdTech 501, Introduction to Educational Technology, I had the opportunity to do research on coding in elementary school classrooms. After ethically conducting research and finding 5 sources that supported this topic, I wrote a post-research discussion followed by an annotated bibliography. This artifact demonstrates my ability to explore a new topic, evaluate the material that I researched, and synthesize the learning to enhance my practice and build a technology-rich learning environment for my students. In EdTech 543, Social Network Learning, I made a creative expression diagramming communities of practice, professional learning networks, and connectivism. In order to support my understanding of these 3 similar but different topics, research was conducted and utilized in the description of my expression. I also researched ways in which we can keep a positive digital footprint, ultimately writing a list of 10 strategies to do just that. Researching is an important element in learning new material and must be done correctly. It is important that we look at reputable sites, cite all sources when we are writing or creating, follow copyright and fair use policies, and be professional at all times. As an EdTech student, researching has been a critical element to my projects and work, and it was important to conduct research ethically, following all professional and institutional guidelines. Throughout this program, I've had several opportunities to demonstrate my knowledge and skills surrounding AECT Standard 5. I've had the opportunity to research theories and contributions that have made educational technology what it is today. I've applied this research to problems identified in my own practice in school, enhancing both. Most importantly, all of my research in this program was conducted ethically, making my learning and my work reputable. Thanks for watching my videos on how I met all of the AECT standards throughout my time at the Boise State Educational Technology Master's Program.